That I stand before you as we commence the inaugural ceremony of the IPSTSB 9th Midterm CPD. Allow me to extend a warm welcome to our distinguished guests and speakers and every participant present here. With this, I am honored to invite onto the dais the office bearers of IPSTSB. I welcome Dr. Minazafar Nasirabadi, President of IPSTSB, Professor and HOD of Deccan College of Medical Sciences. Welcome, sir. I request Dr. Ashok Alimchandani sir, our Organizing Chairperson and Vice President of IPSTSB. I welcome Dr. Vishal Akula, the General Secretary of IPSTSB. Welcome, sir. I welcome Dr. Anita Rairala, the Treasurer of IPSTSB. Welcome, ma'am. I welcome Dr. Fanikan Kondaparthi, the editor of IPSTSB. I also welcome Dr. Naresh Vadlamani sir, the organizing secretary of the 9th Midterm CPD. I am honored to welcome onto the stage Mrs. Aparna Reddy ma'am, the COO of Apollo Medical College. Now I take great privilege in welcoming to the dais our guest of honor, Dr. Uma Shankar sir, the Medical Superintendent of Institute of Mental Health and also the CEO of State Mental Health Authority, Telangana. I welcome our guest of honor, Dr. Arvinda Brahma sir, the Honorary General Secretary of the Indian Psychiatric Society. Now let us all give a warm welcome to our esteemed chief guest for the day, Dr. K. Ramesh Reddy sir, the Director of Medical Education, Telangana. Now I invite the students of the Apollo Medical College onto the stage to lead us in a prayer song. I request everybody to please stand up.
Mahaganapatim manasa Smarami Mahaganapatim manasa Smarami Mahaganapatim manasa Smarami Vasishthavamadevaadivanditam Vasishthavamadevaadivanditam Mahaganapatim Mahadevasutam Mahadevasutam Guru Guhanutam Mahadevasutam Guru Guhanutam Marakoti Prakasham Shantam Mahakavyanaatakadi Priyam Mahakavyanaatakadi Priyam Mushikavahana Modaka Priyam Mahaganapatim. Thank you.
I invite to the dais Dr. Ashok Alimchandani sir to give the welcome address.
Good morning to all of you. Dr. Minaj, President on the dais of the IPSTSB, all the office bearers of the IPSTSB, our chief guest for today's function, Dr. Ramesh Reddy, the guests of honor, Dr. Uma Shankar, and Dr. Arvinda Brahma, CEO Aparna Madam, and all the dignitaries on the dais, and all the delegates, speakers, and the stalwarts of Telangana of Psychiatry who are in the audience. A warm welcome to all of you on this pleasant December morning. Uh, we, it is our proud privilege to have amidst us Dr. Ramesh Reddy, the Director of Medical Education, Telangana, who has kindly consented to grace the occasion and be our chief guest. We are privileged to have you, sir. It is it's a happy moment for us that Dr. Uma Shankar, who's the CEO of the State Mental Health Authority, is also amidst us as a guest of honor. We also have Dr. Aurobindo Brahma, the General Secretary of the Indian Psychiatric Society, who has gracefully consented to come here and be amidst us on this occasion. And we are very happy to have Ms. Aparna Reddy, CEO of Apollo Medical College, amidst us, and who has kindly consented for the program to be conducted in the college auditorium. A warm welcome to all of you. When we were thinking about the topic for this CME, among other things, we had a feeling that we need to have something different rather than the usual academic sessions. We were feeling that the state is poised for a takeoff. The economy is growing and services need to be expanded in all directions. Our fellow professionals and other medical professions are already penetrating all the districts. And there's a felt need for psychiatric services also to reach every nook and corner of the state. And very often the PGs pass out, but they are very hesitant. They're not sure about themselves and what they need to do. So this, in a way, is to enable them, to empower them. We have called speakers from all over the country. We have MSS, Dr. Murli, Dr. Jagdish, Dr. Parmod, Dr. Akansha, and then international Dr. Naseema Reddy, and many of the experts in their respective fields. All of them are pioneers and domain experts in their respective fields of different branches of psychiatry and establishing different psychiatric services. So they have consented to come here and share their expertise and also interact among each other and learn from each other. So we hope this program will be useful to all of you. A warm welcome to all of you. And mostly I would like, first of all, I would like to thank the Indian Psychiatric Society, TSB, Telangana State Branch, for giving us this opportunity to do this CME. Thank you and a warm welcome to all of you.
Thank you, sir. I invite Dr. Mina Zafar Nasirabadi to the dais to give the presidential address.
Good morning, dear and respected all. I would like to welcome you all for this wonderful 9th midterm CME of Indian Psychiatric Society, Telangana State Branch. The theme being Establishing Psychiatric Services. I would like to especially welcome Dr. Ramesh Reddy sir, our dynamic DME, who has consented to be our chief guest and worked relentlessly for various years to bring about changes in healthcare system and medical education. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank our dynamic superintendent IMH, who is also CEO of Mental Health, who has accepted to be guest of honor. Aparna madam, who have been establishing healthcare services all over the country. Apollo is pioneer in establishing healthcare services, and they have established a medical college, 2 medical colleges, I would say. Thank you, madam. Thanks for accepting. I would also like to thank IPS General Secretary, Dr. Aurobindo Brahma Dada. It took us many years, almost 4 or 5 years, to write our constitution, but it was not getting passed. And I would like to thank Aurobindo Dada. Within 5 minutes in Jaipur, I would remember that we were sitting in Jaipur and a cellar, and I spoke to him that, Dada, we are finding it very difficult to pass our constitution, and many a times we have sent the constitution and it would come back with some correction. And he said, Minhas, don't worry, we'll go upstairs. And he wrote a letter to Pawan Kulkarni and Dr. George Reddy Bhai, who was president that time, and our constitution got passed and we could do our activities. Thank you, Dada. I would also welcome Dr. Vishal Akula, Dynamic General Secretary of our IPS Telangana State Branch, who has lots of energy, young energy. Thank you. I would also like to thank Dr. Ashok Kalim Chandani sir, Vice President and Organizing Chairman of this CPD, Anita Madam, Fanikant, Dr. Fanikant, and Dr. Naresh Valdamani, and all the dignitaries of the dais. Today, we are here to learn something about establishing mental health services. As Dr. Ramesh Reddy sir would remember, almost 10 years back, we had a problem. We were trying to establish de-addiction services, and there were some issues, legal issues, and sir helped in solving those issues. Thank you, sir, for that. And many a times, we as young psychiatrists, I remember I was very young at that time, and we unfortunately got into some trouble while establishing a rehabilitation or de-addiction center. And sir was gracious enough to guide us to come out through that. And I think this topic is very relevant, as we have almost 80 to 90 psychiatrists coming out in Telangana doing their MDN, passing their MD. And if we all continue to do clinical practice, as Dr. Keshav Rao sir was saying, that if we continue to do just our traditional practice, we won't be able to survive. So we should be able to penetrate to districts, penetrate to various subspecialties of psychiatry, and this kind of CPD would enable us or would empower us to establish various psychiatric services like de-addiction services, services in child psychiatry, services in cognitive behavior therapy. Many times, like Dr. Narasimha Reddy was saying, that people want psychotherapy, they don't want medicines. Many times patients come to us and say, Doctor Sahab, mereko dawai nahi chahiye. I want some therapy, some counseling, some psychotherapy. And this is a good platform which Dr. Ashok Kalim Chandani has thought of, and various subspecialties of psychiatry, how we can develop clinics all over Telangana state. Thank you again, one and all, for coming this early morning. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite Dr. Vishal Akula, sir, to address the gathering.
Respected Indian Psychiatric Society Telangana State Branch President Dr. Minhas sir, and today's chief guest, our beloved DME Dr. Ramesh Reddy sir, and guest of honor, mental health CEO of Telangana State and President-elect of South Zone Branch Dr. Umashankar sir, and Dr. Aparna madam, and Dr. Arabinda Brahma, IPS General Secretary, and senior psychiatrist, past president, and my mentor, Dr. Ram Reddy sir, and all office bearers. It's my privilege to attend this mid-term CME in the capacity of General Secretary. On this occasion, I would like to appreciate our National General Secretary, Dr. Arabinda Brahma, for his generous help and cooperation for Telangana State Branch. He was instrumental for approval of Telangana State Branch Constitution. Just now, Minhas sir told at national level. For this, I would like to request you all to give him a big round of applause. And last year, we received Best State Branch Award in ANSI Bhubaneswar. Thanks, Dr. Arabinda Brahma. I would like to congratulate Dr. Kishan sir and Dr. Umashankar sir for winning ANSIPS 2025 bid in Hyderabad. Dr. Arabinda Brahma guided and helped us to getting ANSIPS 2025 Hyderabad at the Indian Psychiatric Society General Body at Bhubaneswar. Thank you, Dada. And I would like to appreciate our immediate past President Dr. George Reddy sir, actively worked for IPS membership drive in all districts in Telangana. For his efforts, IPS National Executive Council and General Body appreciated his work, and our National General Secretary, Dr. Arvind Brahma, coined term Telangana model. Now all our states implementing Telangana model for IPS membership drive. So thank you, Jaj Reddy sir. Our President, Dr. Jaj Reddy sir, constant follow-up with the national team. Number of our life fellow members increased from 140 to 160. Now our many members are eligible for voters. So being a General Secretary, I would like to request you all kindly become a member of Indian Psychiatric Society and strengthening our unity. Last but not least, I would like to thank our President, Dr. Minhaj Nasir Abadi, Vice President, Dr. Ashok Kalim Chandani sir, and Treasurer Anita Madam, and Editor Dr. Fanikant, and senior members, CC members for constant cooperation. Long live IPS. Thank you.
I now invite our guest of honor, Dr. Uma Shankar sir, to address the gathering.
Guest Dr. K. Ramesh Reddy Garu is a dynamic person and is a force behind the medical education in the Telangana state, and our IPS TSB President Dr. Minhaj Nasir Badi, and Secretary Dr. Vishal Lakala, and another guest of honor Dr. Arabindo Brahma, and COO Dr. Anita, I think so. Aparna, Dr. Aparna Garu, and today's program chairperson Dr. Ashok Kalim Chandani sir, and Dr. Vallamani, Dr. Anita, and Dr. Fanika, and respected dignitaries of the dais. CME programs we conduct regularly, but usually what we see is attendance is little bit less, poor. But the purpose of CME conducting this, we enrich the knowledge. But here, okay, most of the times we observe is people, what they want, whenever they want be in the hall, and sometimes they leave the hall. That is not the true. This is the place we can enrich our knowledge. That is very important. Important thing, this is today's theme, this starting of establishment of the psychiatric services. This is very important. But after this Mental Health Care Act, this is how to establish nursing homes, how to establish anything. This is a very important thing. Suppose most of the times what the people think that, okay, what is the necessity of that? Suppose whenever the problems arise, then we have to approach the people. That is not correct. So once we register, we have a right to ask the any person, or we can answer properly. We can approach the authorities. So in this, as per the Mental Health Care Act Section 65, every mental health establishment should be registered. So most of the, now almost there are more than 20 establishments are registered so far. Still further also they have to register. Otherwise what happens is, suppose any problem arises, they will be complaining the police station like they will be arrested, although things will be there. This is like a legal procedure, they will be taking place. I request all of them, those who are going to start, whatever their establishment, it may be psychiatric nursing home, hospital, or rehabilitation center, whatever, wherever the mental ill person is keeping, that is important. We have to register with whatever the minimum facilities, minimum requirements required, we have to fulfill and give it. So we are doing the provisional registrations. So shortly we are giving the permanent registrations also. If anybody is there, you can approach the CEO office and we can get registration. With this, thank you for giving the opportunity of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite our guest of honor, Dr. Arabindo Brahma sir, to address the gathering. Welcome, sir.
Good morning. Thank you very much, IPS Telangana State Branch for the invitation once again. Actually, when I became the National General Secretary, the first state branch who invited me is Telangana State Branch. And now, at the end of almost a tenure, because in the next month, I will retire from General Secretary's office. So I think this is, again, the last state branch who is inviting me in their conference is Telangana. So that shows my connection with Telangana. I really love this state branch from its very inception, from its very beginning, and what they have mentioned. I have done a little thing for them, and that they have remembered this. So I'm really grateful to the people of Telangana. You, as a Telangana state branch, I can say one thing. It's a very active state branch. That's why in last year ANSIPS I have given the best state branch award to Telangana. The young brigade like Dr. George, Dr. Minaj, Dr. Vishal, Dr. Fani, Dr. Pavan. They are also the senior persons like Dr. Prasad Rao sir, Dr. M.S. Reddy, Dr. Kishan, Dr. K. Asok Reddy, and all others. Dr. Raghuram sir is there. So the balance is so well in Telangana. I think that is the reason why they are doing so many good things. And that particular Telangana model, which I told every state branch, please follow the Telangana model, how to increase the membership of members in Indian Psychiatric Society. That is very important for us. Why it is important? Because today your theme is to establishing the psychiatric services, the different clinics, how to establish this. And right now what Dr. Umashankar sir has mentioned about the Mental Health Care Act. So this is very important, we should know. And one thing I can tell you, from the very beginning of my tenure, I started lobbying at the central government in the health department for this Mental Health Care Act. And very recently, most of you know that we are successful there. Now they have formed a committee, a review committee for Mental Health Care Act. And I think very soon that committee will start functioning. Already they have 2 meetings, but I think when government has at last convinced that maybe some amendments are required, some modifications are required in Mental Health Care Act. So that's a very good sign of for us, for the psychiatrists and other mental health professionals. And I think the strength of Indian Psychiatric Society should be increased so that our voice can reach to the government level. That is what I have tried to do in my tenure as a General Secretary. I have contacted many state branches and also the central government almost on a very regular basis, because I think that is very important from Indian Psychiatric Society. And also targeting the media, keeping good relationship with media so that our voice can be heard across the country. So I don't know what I have done or not, but I think in future people will judge. Again, I'm very much grateful. Thank you for inviting me in today's program. It's a great honor to me. I wish all the best for today's program. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now let us proceed with the age-old tradition of lighting the lamp. I would like to request Dr. Ramesh Reddy, sir, to lead the dignitaries for the ceremony.
Good morning to you all. The organizing chairman of this CPD, Dr. Ashok Alimchandani, the organizing secretary, Dr. Naresh, treasurer, Dr. Neha Mahendra, the office bearers of the IPS Telangana State Branch, President Dr. Nisar Badi, General Secretary Dr. Vishal Akula, Treasurer Dr. Anita, and all the senior members, the CEO of Apollo Group, Dr. Apana Reddy Garu, my colleague Dr. Uma Shankar, who is the superintendent of IMH Hyderabad and CEO of the Mental Health Authority in the state of Telangana, and the National General Secretary of the association, Dr. Arvind Brahmagaru, and all the senior faculty, Dr. Raghuram Reddy Garu, Dr. Gauri Devi Madam, Dr. Ashok Reddy, and all others senior colleagues who have assembled here for this CPD on a very important topic which is being organized. And now this continuing medical education program now, which is called as CPD by the NMC, has become a routine affair in all the medical institutions all over the state and all over the country. And I am glad that the Indian Psychiatric Society, Telangana branch, along with the Apollo Institute of Medical Sciences, is conducting this program today. I really congratulate them, and I am sure at the end of the day, this is a very useful discussions. After the useful discussions, and good suggestions will come out, because the theme what you have chosen today, establishing psychiatric services. You are all luminaries in this field, and you know the limitations and how the services are there in our country as far as the psychiatric services are concerned. The main problem here is the limitation in the number of available qualified personnel. That is one. The next thing is how many are in the government and teaching institutes, not only government institutes but even the teaching institutes, where the maximum number of population will come on day-to-day basis for seeking these services. And at the same time, what is the support being extended by the respective state governments for this particular field? As you know, earlier, these were just confined to medical colleges, and there also, they were not in a full-fledged manner. Just for the sake of MCI or NMC, we used to have one department, that's all. But as far as the other services are concerned, except for the OP services and distributing some medicines, no further services were provided from the psychiatry departments. That is basically, they were just kept as nominal departments in these medical institutions. But that is not the state now. Now with the pressure from the government of India, the legal forums, that is even the Supreme Court, where they are insisting on implementing psychiatric services in various parts of the country, especially the institutions, and they are pressurizing governments that they cannot ignore it. And with the implementation of the Mental Health Act, it becomes mandatory for every one of us to do it, to implement it in a more scientific manner, which was not done earlier. Now, for example, earlier in our state, to recognize the institutions which are providing these services were registered by the Director of Medical Education's office. We used to constitute a committee. We have rules and regulations. But with the implementation of this Mental Health Act, now there is a specific body which looks after it, and we took all the steps. Especially, I am proud to say that in Telangana, We took steps few years back only to implement this Mental Health Act, and Dr. Umashankar is the CEO of that particular body, and he has done a very good work, especially in framing the rules and what are all the rules and regulations have to be framed. And now we have started inspecting the institutions from this body. The Director of Medical Education Office is not doing it now. Like what Dr. Nisabadi has mentioned earlier, you all are aware that there are many people who are exploiting this particular field because there is a need of services, and these services cannot be given in the regular hospitals, even in the private sector. So obviously there are mushrooming rehabilitation centers everywhere, and they are exploiting patients. And some rehabilitation centers are so bad that what we see in movies, that is the reality. That is what we have experienced, and we have found. When I was in the State Medical Council Ethics Committee, we got some cases where we found that the pathetic stage in these rehabilitation centers, because there is no proper regulatory mechanism over it. And because of that, they were, just for the sake of money, they were taking patients and they were just dumped there. Because most of these patients, as you know, whether even the loved ones, they will not be able to keep them in their house, so they want to put them in some center. They are ready to pay money, but in spite of that, the services what are rendered by these institutions are totally pathetic. Now I think that things will be more systematic, and in the days to come, they will be more regularized. And at the same time, there is a need for the medical institutions, especially the medical colleges, to really concentrate on improvising the psychiatric services. I can proudly say that as per our state government policy, now we are almost having a medical college in each district, and our districts are small, and there every district, every medical college has a psychiatry department. And as I mentioned earlier, they should not be just confined to small activity in the institution, but their activities should spread throughout the district, taking the help of the other Vaidya Vidhana Parishad, that is our secondary care hospitals, wherein we have psychiatrists now posted in those institutions also. I don't say 100%, but as much as available doctors, we are posting them. So comprehensively, they should come together and try to provide psychiatric services in the whole district. Now I have made it mandatory in our medical colleges, because we are seeing that so many young students, because of the pressures, they are committing suicide or resorting to some means, which is not a healthy trend. What they need is a little bit of counseling. For that, we made it mandatory now that in every medical college, there will be an area wherein our psychiatric colleagues are available there, and if any student needs, they can just go for counseling. I think this is very important. Otherwise, a spur of movement, they can do something. You know, all of you know better than me. So these are only few ideas what we have implemented in our state, and the major challenge is to discharge these patients. That I think my colleague Umashankar knows, and how many times he has faced this problem. To send them, the family is not ready to accept, and we don't have adequate halfway homes available to keep them before they are again sent back into the society. So these are multiple areas wherein we need to concentrate, and then only we'll be able to provide best of psychiatry services, which is a very, very important facility what is needed now for the society. And I am sure this theme what you have selected, at the end of the day, you can come up with some good suggestions. I think that will be a baseline for the governments to act on them and see to that the better services are provided in the days to come. I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. To proceed with the mementos, I would like to request. Okay. I would like to welcome Dr. Vishal Akula, sir, onto the dais for the release of.
TSB, we have prepared newsletter. So I would like to request our chief guest, Dr. Ramesh Reddy, sir, please release this newsletter.
Now let us commence the felicitation of the doyen of psychiatry, Dr. Raghuram Reddy, sir. I take great pleasure in inviting you to the dais. Welcome, sir. Dr. Raghuram Reddy, sir, is the first Telugu person to have done MD Psychiatry from AIIMS, Delhi. Thus, laid the foundation in the field of psychiatry in the then United States of Telugu. He took it as a mission to start psychiatry postgraduate courses in the Telugu states with his dedication. He started the first batch of postgraduate in the 1980s. Under his leadership, he has produced several distinguished psychiatrists, both domestic and foreign. Sir, it is our immense honor to have you here.
Director of Medical Education, Ms. Ramesh Reddy Garu, Dr. Brahma from IPS, General Secretary, who had come all along from distance, and dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. There are many people from all India level like Dr. Jagdish and others. I feel ashamed to undergo this ritual. But I feel, no, that's okay. But I can't say no. And particularly when Dr. Ashok Alim Chandani insisted, I said I will attend the inauguration, but this is not necessary. Probably they have put this ritual to see that I will attend the conference. And I will not take the excuse of age. Let me not get into that kind of an egoism. That will do me very bad thing to me. Many things come to my mind, except first of all, Dr. Alim Chandani was for the second batch of MD Psychiatry. He was always an academic person and wide exposure. He is also a hobby of touring the places. Wherever we went, He says, I have already been to this place. That's what it is. He has a wide exposure as a human being. And he is a good teacher. He is a boon to the Department of Psychiatry, Apollo Medical College. Dr. Ramesh Reddy garu, I was thinking how a person who is a DME, who is dealing with all the subjects, in a formal address, he was going into the depth of psychiatric services and all that. And I have seen him attending some of the functions in IMH also earlier. And probably he got psychiatrist by his nature. I think behavior of the is supposed to be the reflection of personality, which most of it we get by 6 years of age. And thank you, sir, for taking so much of interest in psychiatry. I was having a selfish idea. I hope the government will not disturb you for many more years so that we will be benefited and the people will be benefited. Another person on the dais is Aparna Reddy garu. She was looking, all of you have seen how she was looking very innocent like. But he is supposed to be a very strict administrator in Apollo Medical College. And once I heard she had taken a disciplinary action and their higher ups got some influence. They approached her, undo that. She didn't yield. And she is right also in attending this function, and we must thank her for providing all the facilities in the medical college to the organizers. And from childhood she is exposed to psychology. Her father was a professor of psychology in Usmania University for many years, and he has conducted many workshops, etc. And he has developed, in Hyderabad Psychiatric Society, he had given an oration also. Excellent thing. See, those days, 1980s, I had good connection with psychology department of Usmania University. Those days, Dr. Parameshwaran, who is the Dean of Psychology, used to like me very much, and also Dr. Ramchandra Reddy, her father, Dr. Yadvi Reddy and others, particularly Dr. Parameshwaran, was very informally affectionate to me. Regarding today's conference, Dr. Alim Chandani is known for his depth. He has chosen a good area of organizing psychiatric services. Sitting there, I was recollecting about 20 years back, I had read the then BJP, not this BJP, British Journal of Psychiatry, the role of the psychiatrist. Because you are taking interest, sir, the role of psychiatrist is not to treat mentally ill people. It is to organize psychiatric services. That was a very good thing, and the same thing is being implemented today. And many of us, particularly Dr. Jagdish, has established a good mental hospital, and I have seen some patients feedback, very good feedback. And so this is a very important thing, organization of psychiatrists, both if you have a clinic
at least think of referring to a proper person for organizing psychiatric services. And in a nursing home have various areas of psychiatric services. Here, rightly, in the panel discussion, they have asked Dr. Chandrasekhar to head. He is the managing director of Asha Hospital. He has toiled to bring Asha Hospital to one of the best psychiatric institutions in the country today. People know about Asha Hospital, and Asha Hospital has become a home name. And he has not only the subjects he is interested, but in various areas he is thinking of now and then adding another. For example, he has organized with the help of Dr. Gauri Devi, who is an all-India figure in child psychiatry, a course along with the university. And she is addressing us today on child psychiatric services. Today, we have so many things from child psychiatry to geriatric services, addictions, everything is included. All the mainstream psychiatric things are included with good speakers he has chosen, and it shows how the depth of academic interest of Dr. Ashok Alim Chandani and his organizing team is very good. For example, Dr. Siddhartha Reddy once said, his hobby is to read books. Like that, his uncle was a psychiatrist, one of the products of IMH, Dr. Narendra Reddy, was an intelligent person. So, I think I am taking more time, I am conscious of the time. I should thank you all for giving me this opportunity. But in future, I would request that this ritual may not be followed. It will be my duty to attend these psychiatric conferences, whether you felicitate or not. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Dr. Arvind Brahma sir onto the dais to be felicitated by the national members of the Indian Psychiatric Society. But now I would like to request the President of the IPSTSB, Dr. Minat sir, to present a memento to Dr. Ramesh Reddy sir. Ramesh Reddy sir to present the mementos to the dignitaries on the stage. To guest of honor, Dr. Uma Shankar sir. Our guest of honor, Dr. Arvind Brahma sir. Now, Dr. Mina Safar Nasirabadi sir, the President of IPSTSB. Dr. Vishal Akula sir, General Secretary of IPSTSB. Dr. Anita Rairala, Treasurer of IPSTSB. Kanikan Konaparthi, the editor of IPSTSB. Now, a memento to our COO, Aparna ma'am. And finally, a memento to Dr. Naresh sir, the organizing secretary of the 9th midterm CPD. Thank you to the dignitaries. Yes, sir. I request the audience to please stand up for the national anthem. To our distinguished speakers, esteemed guests, and every participant present here. Your presence is a testament to your commitment to the well-being of our community, and we are grateful for your participation.